and welcome back for another video. Today it's going to be a fun project video on behalf of Martelli Notions. I received their August subscription box and it is a project box and it is for a travel case for a mini iron. So if you're coming from the last video, I did a little unboxing of the subscription box. So I went ahead and I already prepared all of my pattern pieces. I did my interfacing and everything. So if you want to check out that video, I'll have that linked down in the description box. And of course, a link to their subscription box if you are interested in getting into their service. They include different products and projects. You just never know what you're gonna get from Martelli. And I was really excited when I found that we're gonna be doing this travel case for a mini iron because I actually have the Aliso mini iron and I don't have anything to put it in. So I was really excited to be able to make this project with you guys. Now this isn't gonna be a step-by-step. I will include the video for this actual tutorial from the maker. The maker is Minky Kim, so I don't obviously want to take away all of her hard work, but we're just gonna make up what I've done today, kind of like a fast, fun sew, just me and you. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and change the camera angle so we can see everything that I have prepared for this project. Okay, so as you can see, this is the pamphlet that you get within your box. And here is a beautiful photo of the finished product. And then you also have included a full tutorial with photographic instructions so that you're able to successfully make this project. It also has a QR code for the tutorial, like I said, will be linked down below. So there's a little bit of preparation for this project before you can actually get into sewing it. I went ahead and made the bias binding. And I went ahead and created the strap. I did a fun decorative stitch with my Janome MC6700P. I really like it. I did hearts and then these really cute like dress forms. So hopefully you can see that. But this is the fabric that was included in the kit. It's so pretty. This dark purple, and then we have this lighter purple that have that metallic accents running through both of them. And then this contrasting fabric for the binding. They also gave me a beautiful zipper with a rainbow coil, rainbow poles, and then that metallic tape, which I just think is gonna look so good. So I went ahead and cut out everything, and there is also some flex foam that was included. And so the first thing we get to do is we get to take these two pieces here that have been sandwiched with the flex foam and then the lining fabric. This lining fabric is actually my fabric that I chose to use in the lining. They do give you enough fabric to be able to do the lining and the exterior, but I wanted to have some fun and use this sewing fabric since it's kind of sewing themed. So what I'm going to be doing is quilting this first and then cutting out the template out of this for the actual iron shape. So they give you this template, this hard template with the no slip surface on the back. This is something that you get to keep forever. It's nice hard quality plastic, good quality, and what you're going to do is once you've quilted this, then you just cut it out so that you can get the perfect dimensions. So if we were to already cut out this pattern piece, then when you quilt it, there's a chance that it could get a little smaller or shrink from the stitching. So just to be sure, we're just doing it on rectangle pieces that again have been sandwiched with that flex foam, and then we're going to cut it out at the end. And you can do any design you want on your quilt. You can do diamonds, you can do straight lines, it's whatever you want to do. If we want to check out the pictures here, they just did a simple grid pattern. But yeah, it's really your decision what kind of quilt pattern you want to do. If you wanted to have fun, if you had, you know, your free motion foot on, you could do swirls, there's just so many things. So if you do want to do lines or a grid, then I would recommend getting a ruler, and you can get something like a disappearing ink pen or chalk, and you could start to draw it out just so that you can get nice even lines that are perfectly spaced out. So all I would do is I would kind of start on an angle, draw one line, and then I would keep going maybe 1 inch or 1.5 inch, really up to you. I'm going to be using a larger ruler. By using my larger ruler, there are these degree lines that are on our ruler. So it's 30, 45, or 60. So if you wanted to do the 45 degree, I would just line it up with the bottom, and then I would draw a line, making sure that it actually shows up. Now this is a friction pen in the color blue, and it will disappear with the heat of the iron. So you can obviously write on paper and then erase it, but the erasing is really just from the heat that is generated. So you can use your iron to also make it disappear. And I find that the blue is really good at actually disappearing. It comes in other colors, but the blue is really good at disappearing. So as you can see, I'm just going 1 inch away from the line previous. Now you could do one line, or you could do, you know, go the opposite way and create that diamond pattern. Now from here you want to go the opposite way, and I would line up at 45 degrees, or you can do 60 degrees. I'm going to try 60 and see what that looks like. And if you don't like the design that you make, you can easily just erase it with your iron too. Okay, so I went ahead and did all my grids. So now I'm just going to take it over the sewing machine, and I'm just going to use a simple straight stitch and sew all of these diamond patterns. And I'm going to also repeat that on the second piece as well. Now I'm actually going to be changing it over to a walking foot because I'm noticing that the fabric is starting to slide around. Not so much on this side because this is actually fused to the foam, but on this side it's not. So we're going to go ahead and switch over super quick. Just like that. Okay, so we went ahead and did all of the quilting. As you can see, I already cut one out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the other one out on camera for you. Now this is a little bit directional in a sense. So I want the bottom, I'm going to do it like this. And as you can see, it's obviously very much larger, so I can kind of move this around so I can get most of that motif there if I wanted to. Just make sure that the stitching is nice around the edges, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our rotary cutter and we're going to cut it out. Now with this rotary cutter, because we have a lot of thick material, it's little bit tricky, but we want to get it nice and close to our template. And it's okay if you want to just cut off a chunk, and then I like to turn it with my hand and just kind of slice away at it. I wouldn't do this normally with regular fabric, but because this is foam and 2 layers of fabric, it's just thicker, so it's not super easy to cut. Normally there isn't a problem if I'm just using straight cotton fabric, 1 or 2 layers. I really like that it sticks to the fabric really well, so I can just kind of spin it around on my mat. And there we go. Now I have a perfect template, and I know that sometimes if you have paper templates, you tend to end up cutting some of the paper, so you might not get a perfect cut, but with these pattern pieces, it's perfect every time, and you're not gonna, you know, chip into, you're not gonna cut into this pattern piece because it's like really thick plastic. So now I have both of those. This is gonna be the top, and this is gonna be the bottom of my beautiful little travel case. And again, you can have so much fun with this. You know, if you wanted to do some embroidery, or if you wanted to use some hand stitching, personalize it, put your name on it, especially if you go to different types of crafting events, or if you go to some what are they called, a retreat, a sewing retreat or quilt retreat, then you can make sure that nobody mistakenly takes yours. Of course it'll be super beautiful and not like any other, but just in case someone wanted to steal it, then you have your name plastered on top of it, which would be really fun. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to refer to my pattern, and I'm going to see what the next step is, which I'm fairly certain it's going to be zippers. So we're going to go ahead and take this, and we will place it to the side and take our zipper pieces, which is going to be these 2 lining pieces, and then we have these 2 pieces that have been already prepared with that flex foam. The flex foam is great. It gives it lots of stability. I went ahead and added some medium weight interfacing onto my lining pieces as well, just to give it even more stability, but that wasn't called for in the pattern. So if you feel that this is enough, then that's fine as well. So I went ahead and put on my zipper pulls. As you can see, I have a little zipper jig, and you just put it on both ends of your zipper in the opposite direction, so that now I can open it the opposite way. So what I'm going to do is, and you can put these on after this step if you wanted to, but I just get too excited. So I'm going to go ahead and take the same pieces, put them together, and this is the top, so I want to place that. This is the outside fabric, place that on top, and then you can flip it over, and you can take your second piece and then sandwich that. And then I like to take my clips and align up everything beautifully to make sure that the fabric starts at the same time, and then also the zipper and the lining and the exterior fabric all line up perfectly. And if you feel like you just want to do one side sew that on and then maybe apply the lining side second, you can do that too. I would do a smaller seam allowance the first time and then increase my seam allowance when you apply the second piece of fabric. A lot of beginners like to do it that way just to make sure. And I'm going to switch to a zipper foot when I do this step, just so that I can get nice and close to my zipper. And I will have to move those zipper pulls as I'm sewing them. So we're just going to be sewing down the zipper teeth, and then we will flip this right sides out and do a nice top stitch. We're going to go ahead and start. It's a little bit thick. And then I'll take my poles, move them out of the way. Like that. And now we're going to flip that fabric right sides out, and you can kind of finger press that. I like to raise my stitch length. And let's go along. There we go. Perfect. Lovely. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. As you can see, my lining fabric looks to be larger, but that's okay because we have to trim off some anyways once this piece is constructed. So we'll do the same thing. We're just going to put that exterior fabric on top of the zipper pole. And then we will flip it around and put that lining piece on. Okay, and we'll do the exact same thing, sewing along those zipper teeth and then flipping it right sides out and doing a top stitch. Okay, so now we just need to cut this panel down to 5 inches by 21 inches. Those teeth, those poles kind of get in the way. There we go. I don't like using my good rotary cutters when I go over teeth. So opt for your crappy ones. There we go. We're almost done. And I went ahead and basted here so the fabric is all together. Okay, so now we have that prepared. We have the back of it done, and we have our handle and the lining for the back, and I went ahead and placed that on top. This is again going to be larger, and then you're going to cut it down the size once you actually attach it to this long piece. So the first thing I did was basically sandwich this and my handle with the two back pieces, and then we are going to sew that with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, perfect. Now I went ahead and lined up the purple, the dark purple together. There is obviously that zipper in between, so I just I had the lighter fabric lined up with the zipper and the top there. I think that looks really nice. So now I think that I might do a little top stitch along here to add some detail. I don't think it says in the pattern that that's necessary, but once I go like that, I believe I'll still be able to place it under my machine to do that top stitch. We're gonna find out. But now we're just doing the opposite side, and this is in the way, but we're just going to roll that over, and it's a lot. It's a lot, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of moving my pieces. And I'm gonna get some stronger clips actually. I have stronger clips for my bag making. And this is what they look like. I got them from the kind of home tool section at Walmart a long time ago. And they're great for things where I really need a good pinch. I cannot have it sliding out. So now I'm just going to take this, roll that as tight as I can get it, and then carefully slip that in there. And now I'm able to do that 1/4 inch seam allowance there. Okay, here we go. And now we're just going to pull that out. Oh, I forgot to put that in the other side. I'm going to use some Hollywood Magic, and then we're going to fix that. Alright, that was easy. Easy fix. Now I have my handle on. Perfect. And I can go ahead and cut off that excess fabric just like that. There we go. So I'm actually going to opt not to do that top stitch because the handle is technically in the way, so we don't want to sew over the handle. But that is really cute. And now we need to attach that onto here somehow. This part is going to be difficult. I'm not super confident with binding, so this might look totally bad, but we are in it together. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to take the binding that I created and I'm going to cut it in half. Okay. And according to what I've seen, they put it on this. All the way around. Just like that. Okay. Kind of basting it on. Okay, so before I go any further, I want to get rid of these blue lines here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my hot iron and erase them. Look at that. Completely gone. You would never know they were there. And look at how messy it is beforehand. Oh my goodness, I love that accent. It looks so cute. I'm going to unpick this and then fold that back so that I have a clean edge there. I did it on, no, I didn't do it on this side. I did it on that piece, but I meant to do it on that piece. So I'm going to do that quick. Wish me luck. Now is the time where we're going to attach the top and bottom to our finished side panel. So first thing I do is we're going to find the center of the back, and I'm just kind of making it even here. Make a little notch. You can use chalk too if you want to. And then I'm going to go to the middle there. Okay, it's important that we get the top and bottom placed evenly, because if not, it's going to be like cockeyed. So now that we already have that placed, we can also take that, fold it in half, and we'll find the center of that, the center of that, okay, and we're going to place it, and you can kind of sink it in. And you're going to need a ton of clips. You really want to place this first so that we know it fit nicely. So this is going to take some time and some patience. Making everything line up evenly. And we can base this on, and then we can sew the binding on. And it's gonna get a little bit bulky here. So make sure you have a good strong needle in. And I'll do it from this side. That looks great. Lined up very nicely. Okay, so like I said, we're going to base this on first, making sure that that fabric stays out of the way, that binding fabric, and we might want to do this one fully, finish the binding before putting on this part. But I think that looks really good. I'm excited. And I can see that it's holding its shape. Okay, so I have went ahead and basted that on. Oh, you can see how it's looking on the inside. So cute. See, this is why. I mean, come on, right? I just want to... No, I can't. I want to do a test run, but I can't. It would be bad. Okay. So from here, what we're going to do is take our fabric, you fold it down, and then you wrap it around that raw edge, and then you kind of want to line it up with the other side, and then hide any stitches that you have. Just like that. And again, time and patience. Going around, folding, and clipping. And making sure everything is beautifully hidden. And this part, I'm not gonna lie, it's not gonna be fun to sew. I mean, it's not. Using a matching thread, it's probably gonna be on your side, because sometimes when things get really bulky like this, stitches tend to, one, skip, or they get small in areas and get longer in other areas. And this is just coming from a person who's had a lot of gross and ugly top stitching over the years. So if you use a thread that is matching, you're just less likely to see that. And if you do see it, honestly, you're the only one who's going to see it. So, you know, we critique ourselves harder than other people. Other people might look at this and be like, you made that? And you're sitting there like, ew, there's so many mistakes. But they don't see that. So don't be so hard on yourself. with any project. If you're making any of mine, just be proud of where you are now and where you know you're going to be if you keep practicing and keep trying. But I am not going to call this a work of art. And that's okay. I've been sewing for too long to know that I screw up all the time. All the time. You saw me forget to put that handle in. All the time. And it's okay, because I just don't let it bother me. Here you go. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Hopefully I'll film it. And then I'm going to do the next one off camera, because I'm probably going to swear a bunch. But now you know how to do it. Okay, I changed it over to a different foot, and now we are going to try. Don't you know? Seems this side is easier than the other side. Get those zippers out of the way. Now for sure, the bottom might not look amazing, which is not good because it's the top of it actually. Okay, we're done. Finally. Oh, it was fun though. It was a lot of fun. And I haven't made a project like this before. So I think it turned out really cute. So now I have my Oliso iron. And now we're going to see if it fits. We're going to open it up. And then we're going to place it on the inside. Whoa. And it even fits with that rubber hot plate thing attached to it, which is great. So I just would probably take my cord and then just kind of place it in there with it. And there we go. How cute is that? That turned out so adorable. Now, again, my binding isn't beautiful, but it's okay. It works, it functions, it's adorable. I love the color, I love the fabric, I love everything about it, and that is the main thing. So I hope that you enjoyed this quick little pattern with me from the Martelli August subscription box. Again, anything about this will be in the description box and down below. Also, my social media, if you are on Instagram or TikTok, feel free to come over there, drop me a line, say hello, and
Of course, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!